What is going on, you dead set legends, and welcome to Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling show on the planet. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and of course, I am joined by one of the best in the business, although he is refusing to take matches with people that have hair on top of their head. He said, no, not having it. It's bald or not at all, but I'm talking about the man that he's taking on the Dragon, Krasimir Kostadinov, July 6th over at Turkey. He's got the bushiest eyebrows in the business. It's my man, Uncle Todd, Toddzilla, Todd Hutchings. Welcome, my man.
Hey, everybody.
What's been happening?
Not too much. Just getting ready. I got like a week and a half before I got to get on the plane. So sorting out the last couple of weeks of training, making sure that the animals get fed when I'm gone, that sort of stuff. So.
Oh, and also just giving Team USA a bit of a heads up that you're, if someone pulls out of the shot put, you're there, ready to go.
Only if they're big and flat. So.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, cool. I thought, geez, have the Olympics started already? No, it's just Uncle Todd shot putting, what is it, 25-pound weights?
25 pounds.
And then you tried to tie them together with a strap.
Yeah, that didn't work. I have a 45-pound plate, but I didn't have one that day.
So how far is that? This nothing to do with arm wrestling, just my dumb, curious brain. But when you're filming those shot putting videos and you're training, how far away is that from your house?
It depends. One of them I was at my dad's house, and the other one was a couple of miles from one of my houses in a park.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad lives in Michigan, out in the woods. He lives in a very, very rural setting. My houses they're country, but they're not like wilderness type places.
Yeah. Well, when I was watching, I thought you just reminded me of like a toddler that just like, yeah, your dad says you can bring all the toys that you want, but you got to carry them home yourself, and you're like, I got to carry him home. Right, let's quickly say hi to some people. John Boy's hanging about, and he says Todd is going to crush Krasi. And of course, we got the side pressure king, Roy Lavari is in there. By hook, by crook, he says, I'm going to be here for a change. Favorite arm wrestler, favorite all-time announcer, personality, non-conformist, Ready Bang. Thank you very much, superstar. We got Sylvester Stallone hanging about. Mark KDX Rider. He's in here supporting Todd. Are you really supporting Todd if you can't spell his name right?
It's phonetic. Just spell it phonetic. Just sound it out.
Oh, now that would make a good video. I reckon we should have an arm wrestling spelling bee. That's right, Todd. Your word is Zarakashvili.
Exactly.
Can I have that in a sentence?
Like Europeans speak like 6 languages. So I'd hate to play there. It would be terrible to have like East versus West Scrabble tournament.
What's your word, Todd? A whopping 6 points. What about you? Saganashvili, triple word score, 419 points.
Exactly.
At least if it's a spelling bee, you've got one of the better things, because it's like, your word, Todd, is Zarakashvili. Can I have that in a sentence? You absolutely whooped Irakli Zarakashvili. So you can get on there. Roy Baker's in the chat. So's Lagia. We've got Sylvester's in there telling everyone to like it. Red Hot Chili Peppers is hanging about. Bulgarians give their infants kettlebells instead of rattles. I'll tell you, there's only one person that's really whooping Europeans, and he's on the show right now. What's going on, Tall Paul Hutchings? Have I said hi to everyone? Varley is hanging around. What's going on, Jake? Good luck, Toddzilla, in the next match. Recovery from the Dadakan match. Did that take long physically and mentally? Was it just like, Right, couple of quick beers, couple of motherfuckers, and then back to.
Yeah, the physical recovery takes the traveling's hard, but so I fly back on Sunday. I'm usually back Tuesday, Wednesday, training just as hard as I can. Once you sort out the sleeping and everything else, but physically it bounces back pretty quick. I usually wait 3 or 4 weeks before I actually watch the match. Before I start dissecting what happened, because if it's too fresh in my memory, I know what I felt, and I don't want that to confuse with what I actually see happening. So a lot of times I won't watch the match for about a month or so.
Okay, that's not a bad plan, because I remember, I think we texted like afterwards, and you were like, "Oh man, like you felt like it was a lot closer than what it was, and you thought you made a couple of little mistakes." Is that still the same?
Yeah, I think I could have. I wish I would have gone in with a different plan. I wasn't expecting that surge at the end, but I think I could deal with that. The fact that I could stop the hit several times, or even sometimes bring him back over. I think our force levels were pretty close. His hit off go was better than mine. Our force levels are quick. If I could have just defended his second or third surge, I'm not saying I could have won that match, but I think I could have made it look a lot closer.
Yeah. Well, it didn't look bad. You know what I mean? Like, I absolutely loved it. Couple of good comments. Just first here from Tripwall. Thank you very much, superstar. He's from Turkey. He says, or Turkey says, Todd versus Prudnik in Orlando. Is that confirmed?
Yep, that's in August.
There you go. So July, bloody hell. So Krasimir in a couple of weeks. And then a month later, just Prudnik.
Yeah.
Jeez, you don't mess about, do you? Do you just like, because you're one of the rare people that are on a contract. So has England gone, right, Todd, we're going to give you 3 matches per year. For example, I don't know your contract. We're going to give you 3 matches per year. Do you just say, right, I want them all in 6 weeks, so then you can have the rest of the year off? I mean, Krasi and then Prudnik.
Engen will reach out usually pretty early. The August match, I was in Orlando. I was supposed to pull Rustam Babayev, but Engen scheduled Rustam for Paul Lynn. So, like a month or so went by, and I didn't hear about my match. So I texted, because you can't have an event in the United States and not have me there. I mean, this is one of the closest, I can fly down there in a couple of hours. So I texted him and I said, "Hey, good man, you gotta give me somebody for that event." And then he called me while I was driving with Prudnik on the phone. It was a messed up call because I couldn't. My phone wasn't connecting to the stereo, so I could barely hear what was going on. But yeah, he offered Prudnik. Prudnik was on the phone. I said, "Sure." No, it's about a month apart. That's plenty of time. Their styles aren't. It's not like it's not like one's some big hosting top roller and the other one's like some big inside press. They're kind of similar. They're at different levels, but they're both basically inside pullers. So the training's not too different between the two of them.
Yeah, it's I mean, get that revenge, get that win back, and see how it goes. I love this comment. Brian's having a bit of fun. He goes, Todd watches the match 3 weeks later because he's never bought a pay-per-view.
I'll tell you what, in the early days, I bought the pay-per-view so I could stay in the hotel room and just go down when my match was. But the stream kept messing up. So then I didn't know where the event was, So then I had to go all the way down to the event anyways, look to see what was happening, come back up to the room, see what was playing. And finally I just said, screw it. And so now I just watch it when I'm there. And, if I'm not there, I'll check the scores the next day. But yeah, I haven't purchased. Well, my internet connection where I live is horrible,
Yeah.
it would stop. It would freeze on me anyway, so I would never get to see it.
And if I'm guessing, like I know Todd's publicly come out and said, "Oh no, I didn't buy the pay-per-view." I've got a feeling a lot of the athletes don't buy the pay-per-view. Just throwing it out there. That's my guesstimation, guys. Put two and two together.
Yeah.
And I think you'll understand there. So,
or people are watching it together, because I know when I go to practice that following week, a lot of the people I train with have seen it, so I can usually get a play-by-play within a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then Engen releases the videos pretty quickly. Now they come out drip, 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 but you start seeing them pretty early.
Yeah. So, I never know what the, going off subject, I never know what the right formula is. Is it leaving the pay-per-view matches for a month or two later, or releasing them straight away and trying to cash in? I never know. I never know what the right way.
They'll
to
sort
do
it out.
is.
They probably got to try a couple of different things and just see what makes, what's most pragmatic for them. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Troy just wants to quickly say, "Sup, bangers? Toddzilla's going to kill him. Uncle Todd peaking at 60, and Krasi is on his way out." Well, let's dive into that. Krasi's wanted this match for quite a while.
Yeah, we pulled in 2012, so it's been about 12 years. So we're about due.
You're about due. I mean, you can see in the background there, that's the picture of Uncle Todd and Krasi pulling. I mean, if it's anything, let me just chuck it on here. If it's anything like this, then we are in for a banger. I mean, look at that round. Look at that. If you missed it, let me play it again. This is two elite people. Look at that. Whoa! Hey! If it's anything like that, I think, those last two rounds were worth the pay-per-view alone. Let's go one more time. We'll go like that. So Todd was up 4-0. I don't think Krasi's not big on pulling rounds after the match is over, whether he's won or lost. I mean, just goes recent when he pulled Lachlan Adair. So that's all that is, just having a bit of fun. But wow, 2012, 12 years ago. So are you I would have to say that you would be much better than that 2012 Todd, for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely better than I was then.
So, no disrespect to Krasimir, but like arm wrestling maths, let's just get in everyone's favorite maths. A few years ago, you put it on Lachlan. You became Australia's favorite uncle, and then Lachlan's gotten a hell of a lot better since that match. But Lachlan made Krasi work.
Lachlan was really close to just a few minor adjustments, and I don't know if Lachlan could have won that, but boy, it would have been very, very close. And just to me, it looked like Lachlan was trying to find the recipe to just slam Krasi to the pad instead of finding a way to just bleed him out. Lachlan was in a really good position in a lot of those rounds, and then just didn't stay there. He moved or adjusted or something, and it just cost him. And that's one of the few of Krasi's recent matches. That's one of the few of the ones where his opponent actually tried to hook him. Usually Krasi's pulling people, top rolling him. So I've watched that Lachlan match a lot. I mean, I've watched it a lot.
Well, that'll be interesting. Just give people a bit of an insight, Todd, because you're one of the most easier athletes to deal with. We were touching on it before we went live. You've got to go fly to Turkey. What is the outside of training and arm wrestling? What's the preparation? What are things you have to tie up? And just give people a bit of an understanding There's the training, and it's like Todd's one of the best in the world, and people kind of forget that we all have lives outside of the table.
Yep. So I'm an engineering manager. So when I take a week away, I got to make sure that my team of engineers is set up for that week. They can still reach me by cell phone, but the time shift is such that if they're calling me, they probably need me now. They don't need me 8 hours later. So there's getting work set up. But I got really good people there that cover me. You got dogs and cats that got to be fed the whole time you're gone. If it's wintertime, you got to make sure that if you lose power, the pipes and stuff don't freeze.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing. I usually hit a practice on Tuesday, and then I'll work Wednesday. Then it's a 5-hour drive to the airport. Then it's a 10-hour flight to Istanbul. And then it's another hour or so car ride from Istanbul to the hotel. And then you get there. By the time you check in, sign like 1,562 trading cards and 462 t-shirts and 27 arm wrestling tables. And I forgot what else we're signing. I think we're signing puppies this year. I think Enkin's giving away puppies to the VIPs. So we got to sign the puppies. Then there's a party that night, and then there's dinner. I mean, it's pretty hectic, between Wednesday and Sunday when I get back home again.
Yeah, so Wednesday, yeah. So you sound a bit like me, but I just have a bit of a longer flight, so you get to stay for some of the festivities. I mean, but that's the real trading card that you want. That's the real one. I'm gonna get it sent to you, even though there's been some issues with it, but I will make sure you get yours. But yeah, it is, and it's a spectacle now. As a arm wrestling fan, first and foremost, I understand how frustrating it would be, especially if you're right-handed and you're signing all that merch and you got to pull right-handed. But I think it is great that you guys, and I've said it for years now, that you guys are being treated like the superstars that you are. Because before 5 years ago, before getting in there and realizing what a bunch of Neanderthals you were guys, I'm watching you guys on the tally and like, oh my God, these guys are rock stars and things like that. And so now that we're turning up to events and it's press conference, and like you said, the signing puppies and things like that, it's I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I know the only problem for me would be, like, you can't take too much time off work, but in a dreamland, you could turn up on the Monday, get all of that out the way, then get into your normal preparation. That would be ideal.
Yeah, that would. But I got to save vacation. I don't want to burn too much up on each event because it's usually 3, sometimes 4. Sometimes we pull as late as November. And I also got to make sure I have some vacation left over for the holidays and everything else. So I cut it pretty close. So I'm Wednesday. When the event's over, usually at midnight or 1 a.m, we change your clothes, get in the taxi, go back to the airport Sunday night. Get on the airplane first thing Sunday morning. Coming home only takes a day, but getting there takes 2. So
okay. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I go back in time. Then when I come to Australia, I lose a few days. But yeah, I'm the same. Like my last trip, I was in the air for 26 hours and only in the country for 44. Yeah. I rocked up like 4 hours before the press conference at King of the Table. So yeah, we'll get in there. Right, a couple of quick comments. We're going to talk about the Krasi match. It says, I think we can all agree Toddy's stronger. Todd destroyed Irakli and Lachlan, and Krasi barely beat Lachlan and got crushed by Irakli. I'm only concerned of Todd's endurance. Just go, Justice. Did you watch the Kitagali match? I think my man Todd's got some endurance there.
Yeah. My Hedda Morris match took some endurance. The one down in Australia. Those were long rounds.
Yeah, with the big Mate. My Cafe Mate. He's got a match coming up. Dungeon Master says, evening, Jake. Hope you're well, bud. Awesome to see and hear from Uncle Todd. Can't wait for the match. I'm not sure if this is the real Morozov, but he just says, Todd is my man. And if it is Morozov,
because I like that kid, so I think it's the real guy because I do like that kid. So.
I don't think it is the real Morozov. If it is, awesome. I always catch him wearing an Aussie ArmWrestler shirt, so I'm very grateful. But his English is on point, which is weird, which is really good. But yeah, and he's saying, "See you all in July." If it is, let's say I know what to do. There's only one way to find out. I don't think it is, but because I'm not a big fan of people impersonating others, because I don't think Morozov has a YouTube channel. So I'm going to say that's not him. If it is, anyway, let's roll on. So preparations for Krasi. Now, when you have already beaten someone, albeit it was quite a long time ago, does that subconsciously hinder your preparations, or are you just focused on it's just winning, it's getting paid, it's coming back home?
It doesn't hinder it because I'll watch that match in the rotation as well to see if he's changed anything. Krasi is like a very committed hook puller. I think I've only seen him like purposefully top roll in like one match. So he hooks. If the other guy's top rolling, Krasi just hooks and hooks and hooks, you know. His style hasn't really changed a whole lot over the years, and he doesn't change things up. He hooks and pulls kind of with his elbow open, and it's kind of more of a drag style pulling, which is what I do. So he pulls very similar to I do. And he's very consistent. He doesn't appear to change it between opponents, and he doesn't seem to change it between rounds if it's not going for him. Like when he pulled Matt Mask in Canada, he did the exact same thing every time, you know?
Yeah.
He was very consistent in how he pulled Lachlan. If he was quicker than Lachlan, the match was heavily Krasi's side. If Lachlan was good off go, that match stopped, and Lachlan could go to work on him. Allie's beat John 3 separate times, I think, over like 12 years. So the man knows what he's doing. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So the way he's coming in, it's very, very interesting, because I always wonder, because I know like when I would play sports, I'd be like, oh, we've already beaten this team, and a part of me would kind of get a little bit lazy, but yeah, 12 years is different. Will you be bi-curious and top roll Krasi?
I plan to hook him the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
If that ain't going right, you know, I've seen top rollers beat him, and I've seen top rollers lose to him. So I don't think my top roll is gonna scare him none, because it ain't fast. You know, so
yeah.
I don't think I really have a plan B. You know?
Nah, that's fair enough. If you don't know, I say bi-curious. Todd mentioned it in one of his videos. He was calling Krasi bi-curious. He thought he was bi-curious for top rolling. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Krasimir talking like a technician. Todd basically just called him a one-trick pony. Well, when some might say that with Todd. If you got that one trick that works.
That trick carried him to a couple of world championships. It's carried him for a long way.
You know? Yeah, he's got wins on Levan. He's got multiple wins on John Brezink that not many.
Yeah,
not
John's
many people
one of the most
can
flexible arm wrestlers out there, and Krasi beat him at 3 separate venues. So that's impressive.
So then, for those that are really interested in your sorts of training, what is your lifting weights, shot putting weights, chopping down trees, whatever manly thing you decide to do, your training and table time ratio?
I'm on the table if the teams are capable, I'm on the table 3 times a week. One of my teams just recently went to an every other week schedule. So in 2 weeks, I will be on the table. I'm on the table 5 times every 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I train at least once a day, usually twice a day, on top of that. So
yeah, okay. So why that? How come that's your magic number?
it started a long time. The amount of work you do is the one thing you can control. You can't change your genetics. You can't change, how much money you got. You can't change a lot of stuff, but you do have complete control on how hard you work. And, if you're willing to outwork everybody, your chances are better than if you're just willing to do like the bare minimum or the average. So I don't think you can do too much work in preparation for this.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Now, when you after you watched your Dadakan match after the 4 weeks, did you feel that like you really wanted a rematch and deserved a rematch because you were the former champ, or are you like, nah, let me have a couple and climb my way back up?
This is probably going to get me some hate, man. I don't worry so much about being the champ because I'll eventually get that shot again. As long as you're in the mix, as long as you're improving, that stuff comes anyways. Engen's real good about giving out the title shots to people when they're ready for it. And if I was in the super heavyweight class, Levon's running out of people to arm wrestle, so everybody in that class will get a shot. In my class, in the 105 class, it's so talent rich. I wouldn't be surprised if the championship changes once or twice a year. Because Oleg Petrenko's looking good, Dadakin's looking good, Prudnik's not the champ, and he was at one time. So, and if Devin comes down to it, there's 4 or 5 pullers who are all like legit elite level that could all be champ.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very tough class to just dominate for a real long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if that class stays turbulent for a while.
Yeah. Do you think? How do you think Petrenko's chances are after he absolutely smoked Kitagali?
I thought he was the favorite when I just heard about the Agurbayev match. Now that I saw it, I think Oleg is the favorite. I think he's going to be very comfortable pulling Dadakin right where Dadakin wants to be. And to just do that to Agurbayev is otherworldly to me. So I think Oleg, and I've met him a few times, never pulled him, never practiced pulled him, never shook his hand. I think he's the favorite. I think he's the favorite in that match. And Dadakin's like a world level, rightly deserves to be champion. So that's how tough that class is.
Well, it's yeah, for me, I thought Kitagali was going to smoke Oleg until I turned up to Dubai and saw them two next to each other.
Yeah.
And then it changed. I was like, wow, okay.
But Kitagali's never been big. He was always he was always an enigma because he always looked smooth and strong, but always like lean and like he looked more like a swimmer than a weightlifter, But he had, he's got like one of the best hands in the world at the game. So.
And he's going to get it in there, guys. If you don't remember, it is in what are we now? Like 2 weeks' time. Toddzilla is going to go up against Krasimir Kostadinov in Turkey, July 6th. The link is in the description. Just if you want to see Todd, and if anyone wants to buy Todd the pay-per-view, just give him a chop out. The poor guy here, he's scrambling around. And
I'll just wait till the picture book comes out, and I'll just read it really fast.
A little pop-up book. That'd be brilliant. I'll read that one. I'll read that one for my daughter. We do have a poll going at the moment. Wowee. One of the most lopsided polls ever. 92% think that you're going to win.
Australia loves me. That's what it is. Australia just loves me.
There is 0 people from Australia in the chat besides me. They're all at work because it's 9:30 in the morning, you know. People with jobs.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what that was. It's been too long. So, okay. So 92%. Now, you're a pretty laid back person, but when, you know, a lot of people are like, you're the favorite, you got to smash him, Todd wins easy. Does that play in your mind at all? Do you just, or...
I start getting nervous when I'm nervous before every match. I just am. I really start getting nervous when I think I'm the favorite, because then I start wondering if I'm overlooking something. We pulled 12 years ago. I know I'm changing. I expect him to be different. I'm sure he expects me to be different. I've developed, you know, I know what I'm going to do. And then if it absolutely doesn't work, well, I'm just going to go do it harder because my second plan just ain't going to work. So, yeah, I get a little nervous when I think I'm the favorite. But on hook matches, I mean, I just feel really strong lately. And my hand has definitely improved in the last 2 years or so. So,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I'll still pull the same style, but it does give me I can be a little sloppier or not exactly 100% on the setup or on the go, you know, so that the grip doesn't have to be absolutely perfect if your hand is solid.
Yeah, he's rock solid. Well, what would be the one thing if you weren't the side pressure king and you had to be the king of something else related to arm wrestling? What would it be? What would be your next thing?
I always wish I could top roll the way John does. You know, not that rearing back posting style, but that his ability to grip and either hook or top roll from the same grip and change it like at will. I never had the cupping pressure he did. I was never even close to be able to top roll the way he did from that grip. But to me, that was always like the most exquisite thing I've ever seen. It's almost as good as Jerry Cadirat's ability to press across the table or to crush you in and press straight down and not change the setup at all. Grip you exactly the same and then have no idea which way he's going. You know.
Yeah, fair enough. That's I like it. I like it. Yeah, I mean, if you pick anything that is John Brezink, then that makes sense. How do you think you'll go against Leonidas?
He's a guy who keeps arm wrestling without his shirt on, right? That's the guy John's gonna pull in Florida.
Yeah, the German guy.
Okay, I don't know much about him, only that I saw him pulling Larry Wheels once.
And he just beat Schoolboy.
I don't think they were real matches. I think it was in Dubai. I don't know. I'll get a look at him when John pulls him in Florida. But he looks a lot bigger than me. He's not a 230-pound guy, is he?
No, it's all in his legs though. He's got these big giant legs. I think he wants to come down a bit. He was, I think he came in at 125 kilos. So what's that? 260 or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Around there. He's just a big, thick man. I'm sure someone in the chat will know. What else have we got? Just a couple of guys. We're probably going to go for about another 5 or 10 minutes. So start throwing in some questions. I've got a couple more for our man Todd, but I don't want to take up too much of his time because he's a legend like that. Just getting in. Let's go, Uncle Todd. P.S. I just called my mother.
Good job. Call your mom.
You got to. My mum's tattooed on my arm, and she's my hero. So there you go. Okay. What does Todd think of the King's move?
I was never against it. It was when it first came out, it was difficult to deal with, but there's enough of us that have figured out a way around it now. I was a little dismayed when I started seeing amateurs pull it, you know. Um, I understand where people don't like how it looks or anything, but it never really bothered me.
Yeah.
I never advocated against it. Um, it's beatable like everything. The thing about the King's move is when you apply it, you're pretty much dedicated to it. There's not if you set the King's move, if you're the King's mover, you don't have a lot of options to get out of it. I mean, you're pretty much committed to that for a while. So it wasn't Crazy George did it for the longest time, and we all thought it was magical then.
Yeah.
Then it started showing up in WAL and PAL events. It's not nearly as there's not near the mystique around it as there was just 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, it's people will do it from time to time. I think I've even done it inadvertently. Sometimes you just get caught in it, and you're just trying not to lose. You pull out
Yeah.
of it, but yeah, I don't think it's as effective as I still think top rolling's the number one most effective move you could do. If you want to get through a tournament, if you want to win a tournament with the least damage, you better know how to top roll very well. That's still the all-time favorite. The King's move's probably down around where a press would be.
Yeah.
Probably slightly less effective than a good hook, but nowhere near where the top roll is.
No, fair enough. Like it. Adam Morozov is still claiming that this is the real him. Well, if it is, mate, welcome. Love you, buddy. If it is you, big fan. Right. So I don't think it is, actually, now that I'm reading some of his comments. Anyway, one quick question. Ask Todd what his Seminole match was when he knew he belonged with the pros.
I caught a whiff of it when I was about 3 or 4 years into the sport. I pulled Dave Randall and Cleve Dean. But really, it wasn't the match, but after I beat John Brezink in Vegas, it wasn't too long after that I moved to Utah and trained with him. And that's when I knew I belonged. Was when John was talking to me like we're like equals. I mean, we became friends, and I'm like, dude, you're still my hero. And he's like, come on, let's train together. And I go, straight shit I can do for you.
Wow.
So, so I owe like so much to him, So
I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us do. That's for sure. Although probably my favorite Toddzilla John Brezink moment is when you almost fell asleep on a live stream when I was at John's house talking about your match, and you were just like absolutely knackered, and these things happen. I think what you guys don't understand, everyone watching, like, I have a laugh with Todd about it, but in my experience, these guys ask for nothing. Like, Todd's been coming on my show for years now, never asked for anything. I was honored to buy him a beer when he came to Australia as a thank you and things like that. So, like, if these athletes are falling asleep or they're like, Jake, let's cut this off, I gotta go, or don't post that, I'm doing it because I have never paid anyone to be on the show. I can't wait till the channel blows up and I can turn up with Todd and go, here's a couple of $100, Todd. Thank you very much. So
I think if you're training hard, I know when I'm training hard because I'm tired all the time. And I just think, I now start to think that that's how like these really, really strong guys must feel all the time. I mean, there's like 30 minutes before and after a workout where I feel good. And every other part of the day, I'm just tired. I'm like exhausted all day long. Then you get hyped up, you go to practice, then you go. So I just think being tired is what strong feels like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense as well. I've noticed lately, you're going through a bit of a phase where you're very active on Facebook. You're jumping in the comments section, you're having a bit of a laugh with people. If there's a controversial post, scroll down, you'll most likely see a comment from Toddzilla. One, what made you do it? And two, what is the most frustrating thing about arm wrestling today, in your opinion? Because you've been around for so long.
Okay, two things. One, about Facebook used to frustrate me. People would just post stuff that frustrates me. So I started purging my Facebook friends list. If you post something that is easily, you can refute it by spending 2 seconds in Google, but you post it anyways, whether it's a conspiracy theory or not, I just unfriend you. Unfriend, unfollow. I got to get that rubbish off my feed. All right. Now I'm starting to, if you post like these little memes or something where it's some inspirational quote about how dangerous you are, but also how loyal you are, yeah, I'm going to unfriend you because I don't need to see that shit in my feed. Then I got a pretty strong political belief. I know, I'm not one of these independents, both sides are right, shades of gray stuff. I mean, I got a pretty strict code of what I think is right and wrong. When people on my side say something which is provably false, trying to make a point, that makes my side look bad. So I will jump into those conversations and say, dude, man, that's wrong. You can't be lying. Their side lies. Our side can't lie. So, but other than that, I also realize I think I spend way too much time on it. But so I'm purging people, because I have a backlog of friend requests, and a lot of people are there's just fake account. I don't understand the fake account stuff on Facebook, So, but yeah, every once in a while I'll get in there.
I absolutely, I enjoy them. It's like, like it'll be an arm wrestling group or just something, or someone dog shitting someone, and then I'm like, why do I get on Facebook? And then it's like Toddzilla comments, and I'm like, well, I might stay for a little bit.
The flat Earth stuff bothers me. I didn't think those people were real. People who thought the Earth was flat. I'm going, how can you possibly wait? Why would it be flat? And how can you be so wedded to it? I mean, unless we're actually traveling through space, I don't understand how it's so important in their life. But then you go, well, when Japan bombed our country in World War II, it didn't take them 30 hours to fly like it would have had the Earth been flat, Perpetual motion machines are the other thing that drives me nuts. These people post these machines that like create energy, or cars that run on water or something or like he hooked an electric motor up to some springs and it runs forever. None of that shit is real. All right. And it's so easy to Google that. but people post it and I go, the people need to post more but if you post Bible quotes and stuff, I think you're a friend forever. You get in a protected class of my friends list. I will never clear you from my friends list just doing that.
My big thing is, before we get back to arm wrestling, my biggest gripe is with this flat earth, round earth thing is, why does it matter? So like, just say if someone flies out into space, they take a picture and the earth is flat. Cool. What's the big argument between what shape the planet is? Just if that's your worry whilst you're on the planet, I don't know, get a hobby. I'll buy you a Netflix subscription to watch some movies or something. Like, buy a gym membership, because
we couldn't.
Like, what do you win? What do you win?
the thing is the complexity of to keep the flat Earth a secret. Like everybody knows it's flat, but all these governments got together to suppress it. Our country couldn't even keep the secret about COVID while we were in COVID. You know? It's like, wait a minute. My country can't keep a secret for shit. You know? So I'm pretty sure we're not protecting anything. So,
don't get me started on that. I'm a purebred, so I'm pretty happy. And then with all that, and then we'll get into some questions from the comments and we'll wrap up. What's the one thing in arm wrestling that is frustrating you as much as flat earthers?
It's predominantly, I used to think it was American arm wrestlers, but I think it's North American arm wrestlers, because I think there's some Canadians in there that first in America, they give themselves a nickname before they've ever won a tournament, right?
Do not ever give yourself a nickname.
Yeah. Amateur classes bother me. I don't think there should be amateur classes. But it's when these new people get into arm wrestling, and whether they're just coming into it from no athletic background, or whether they're former power lifters or former athletes in maybe they're an accomplished athlete in another sport, but before they even learn the basics of how anybody trains, they start making up their own shit. You know, they go, "Hey, Uncle Todd, I got a question about training." I go, "Cool. I like to talk about training," you know? And they go, "Well, how do you do?" I go, "Okay, well, this is my theory of training. Devon's is this, but there's like half a dozen." And they go, "Well, I'm doing this." And I go, "Well, that won't work." You don't know anything, but you're making up your own shit, and now you're putting it on YouTube. There's this guy I think he was in West Virginia, posting some training video he did. I forgot what he was doing, wrapping the strap around. Whatever it was. I said, "Dude, you're just wasting your time." And he sends me back this manifesto of like how strong he is and how good he is, and I'm going, "Well, I ain't never heard of you." None of my people have heard of it, But he has his own videos, strength training by whatever his name was at the time. And it's like, I go, okay, well, enjoy life in the losers bracket. I had somebody tell me they were doing 1,000 reps. I go, "Well, that ain't going to make you strong." "Well, it's blah, blah, blah." I go, "That ain't. People who can run a marathon can't squat 1,000 pounds." So, well, I thought, and I go, "Well, stop thinking." There's enough shit out there that works. Start there and then invent the stuff that you need, So that's probably the most frustrating about North American arm wrestlers. It's just that stuff,
I am seeing that a lot around the world. Like people, they do really well at like a few practices, and then the YouTube channel's up and they're saying they're a coach or something like that, or this is how you do it. And it's like, okay, good luck to you. That's all I can say. Now I know exactly what to do. If I start watching a pay-per-view, or if I'm at an event with you and I don't think you're fired up, I'm going to show you a 2-minute clip on Flat Earth and someone who just started in the sports training.
Yeah.
And
look
at anyone on the table.
A machine that runs forever. I saw this guy. He posted a YouTube video where he took like a toy car. He took 2 magnets and showed how the magnets like attract each other. He glued one magnet to the car, then put a lever out and glued the second magnet. So the 2 magnets are separated, but they're both attached to the car. And supposedly this car would drive forever. So the guy's video showed that. He then duplicated that and goes, "See, it works." And I go, "No, it doesn't." You're both just making shit up again. It it violates like the first and second law of thermodynamics. It's just right there, and they're not theories of thermodynamics like evolution or even relativity. They're called the laws of thermodynamics. So,
yeah, but Todd, I saw it on Facebook, so it's true. So don't come in with your logic, mate. I saw it on Facebook. So, right, let's get into some fun questions, and then we'll let Uncle Todd go. Did you ever beat Jerry Caderet?
No, I pulled him the one time. I don't even know if I've ever practiced with him outside of that match. Nope, never beat him.
There you go. Everyone, just go to Toddzilla's YouTube channel. He's literally done a song for Krasi, so get in there. He's done that. Arm wrestlers have the worst nicknames in sports. Well, Schoolboy's one is relative because when he first started, he had the glasses. Yeah, so that's a good one. If you give yourself your own nickname, that grinds my gears. It's like, hi, Todd, I'm the Destroyer. Yeah. Oh, yeah? How long have you been pulling? 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think I know 6 beasts, 6 psychos, 6 top roll somethings.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. Justin King's up and about. He says, one of my favorite pullers and a fellow Ohioan.
Yep.
Okay. Right, what else have we got in there? What does Todd think of training chest?
I don't do it. I don't train chest. I don't train biceps. I don't use grippers.
There you go. See, I train chest and biceps, but that's to impress my wife. So when I show her videos and go, babe, look how much your man can lift, or, no one's at the beach going, oh, check out his forearms.
Once I get married, I'm letting myself go because then there's no reason to work anymore.
No, I'm trying to get back into shape because I realize if my wife ever went on Tinder or something like that, it would be absolutely flooded with requests. I know how good I've got it. So
that's exactly right. The women will have a thousand dudes backed up in their digital messages.
That's right. They're all hanging around. When's Todd getting his Popeye pipe? That's what he wants to know.
When I'll start smoking when I stop pulling.
Tall Paul, how did you not know that Toddzilla had a YouTube channel? How did you not know that? That's great.
24,000 people know I have a channel.
Yeah. Oh my God. Get in there. Okay, and Phil Woody has just jumped in there. Are there any final questions? Get out there and quickly get them in before we wrap up. I'll scroll up there. My practice group from Roy Baker says, had a guy show up who was amazed at how much stronger he was than all these guys who were working with him. Thought he was a badass. Oh, man. What else have we got? I'll scroll back up if you can. I think you really opened up a can of worms with your relativity. And it's, yeah, I'm not a, for the record, before you unfriend me, I'm not a flat earther, mate. We'll get it. I'll chuck it into the description after the show, mate. Or someone will chuck it in there. Soft wash signs. He definitely is the people's champ. Got a favorite genre of music?
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. Good man. Good one. And which match are you most looking forward to watch at East versus West 13, besides your own?
The Prudnick-Irakli match I'm interested in. And I was going to say the Michael Todd's pulling Dadikin, but I think that's in Florida.
That's in Florida, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested in Prudnick versus Irakli. I seen a match of those two practice pulling. Well, I'll save it for my analysis before my match with Prudnick. But Man, that's a hard one for me to judge. I think Prudnick's probably the closest thing to the all-round perfect arm wrestler out there.
Yeah.
He's strong, he's fast, he's good on both hands. He's got an outside game, he's got an inside game. I don't think I've seen him ever press, but I've seen him top roll and hook. I've seen him top rollers and hookers. So I've seen him pull way outside his weight class.
He's an arm wrestler's arm wrestler.
Yeah, I think he's probably the closest thing to a John Brzezinski that's been around since we've had a John Brzezinski. You know, his match with Devin, you watch that with the sound off. I think you'll come away thinking Prudnick's a better arm wrestler than Devin if you watch that. If you watch that match, it's Prudnick was so close to winning that. Devin could get Prudnick inside and get real comfortable, but Devin never, ever hit Prudnick inside. Devin ran away from that at go every single time, and Devin hit the straps, inches above the pad on round one.
Yeah.
And when Prudnick hit him and slipped that, Prudnick was confident. Prudnick pretty much thought he was going to do that again. That went exactly the way Prudnick thought it was going to go. That Prudnick-Devin match is that's a good match to watch. Knowing, the level Devin's at. That just shows you how good and refined Prudnick is.
Yeah, Prudnick is a star. All right, couple more. My arm wrestling nickname is Adolf Oliver Pubes. There you go. Thank you very much for the super chat, Oliver Pubes. There you go. How's Todd's health after his four-wheeler accident? You okay?
Hands are back. My right hand's bigger than my left hand, which is just the way it should be. So.
There you go. You've made a lot of people happy with your choice. Metalhead, who's your go-to?
Well, everybody's number one has to be Iron Maiden, followed by probably Judas Priest.
There you go. And then what does Toddzilla honestly think his chances of beating Krasi are?
I think I'm probably a 7-3 favorite.
I would say 90-10, but I don't want to put any pressure on you. And according to our poll, let me just double check it before we wrap up. 92%, 141 votes, 144.
A lot of Ohio people in that sample.
First was Australia, now it's Ohio. But why you just come out and say that my polls are rigged? That's what we're getting there. But ladies and gentlemen, please, can we all wish him all the best for his match, July 6th. And we'll probably get him on before his match with Prudnick because we'll go through that. That's why I didn't talk too much about it. But can we all please thank Toddzilla for jumping on the show?
All right. And I look forward to you hosting Arm Wrestling Spelling Bee. I think you could, that's a little niche you could get.
Oh, mate. Oh, if I can get everyone in person that they don't. Oh, geez. Arm Wrestling Spelling Bee would be brilliant. We'll get it in there. All right, guys. We are out of here. See you later, you Dead Set Legends.